My name is Andrew Stickle, and between my partner and myself, we worked on the marketing campaigns of thousands of law firms. Today I'm going to discuss the 8 marketing mistakes most lawyers make and how you can fix them. In the time that I've been helping lawyers grow their practices, I've come to pretty much 2 universal conclusions. First, for the most part, lawyers are very good at practicing law. However, most lawyers aren't very good when it comes to marketing. Like everything, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. These easily correctable mistakes could be costing you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. When you make these potential mistakes, the clients end up going to your competitors. But fortunately, these mistakes are very easy to fix. Mistake number 1, not treating leads as urgent. Your firm probably gets some leads through referrals, but if you're like most law firms, marketing drives most of your leads. When one of those leads calls your office for help, you have to be ready. That's because when the average person needs a lawyer, they need a lawyer now. Maybe they've been in a car accident, maybe they're being sued, maybe they've been arrested, maybe they were just served divorce papers. The point is, they're in trouble, they need your help, and they're not willing to wait. Put yourself in the shoes of a potential client who is just charged with a serious felony or who just had a loved one killed in a car accident. If you were in their position, would you leave a message? Hell no, you wouldn't. You'd hang up the phone, probably in the middle of their outgoing message, and call the next competitor. That's why the way you deal with the initial phone call from a potential client is critically important. It's your one chance to convert that lead into a client. If you screw up this initial contact, you don't get a second chance. That lead is gone forever and they've gone to your competitor. If your competition has a better conversion strategy in place, which they likely do, that lead is gone. They get the client and the revenue. If you're serious about your marketing, you need to make sure that you have a system in place where a live person is answering your calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Mistake number 2, failing to train the person answering your phone calls to capture the lead. During regular business hours, a receptionist or administrative assistant is likely the first person that a potential lead is going to speak to when they call your firm. It's critical that this person knows how to effectively deal with a warm lead. If the potential lead asks to speak with you and the receptionist or administrative assistant says you're not available and then just transfers you to voicemail, they might as well have just hung up on the lead. At this point, the client is likely gone and has moved on to another firm. In instances where you or another attorney are not available to speak with a potential lead, the receptionist must effectively communicate that they understand the urgency of the situation and that an attorney will contact them right away. It's vitally important that the receptionist capture the name and phone number of the potential lead before letting them know that you're not available. Then and only then can they tell the lead that you're unavailable, but they must assure the lead that someone will get with them right away. If no attorneys are available to speak with the lead, the receptionist should assure the lead that they will have their call returned by a specific time by an attorney. Specifying a time will make the lead feel more confident that their call will be returned rather than leaving it open-ended. Now, there will be instances when you won't be able to return the call by the time specified. I totally get that. However, it's better to beg for forgiveness than lose the lead altogether. Under no circumstances should a potential client ever be transferred to voicemail. Mistake number 3, using a call menu or phone tree. How much do you hate it when you call a company and you get one of those press 1 for this and press 2 for that and press 3 for this menus? Well, guess what? Your clients hate it just as much. Get rid of it. Have a live person answer the phone 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. What's worse is these menus are often not properly configured, so they just turn into a big, jumbled, confusing mess. Nobody, especially a potential client, wants to play voicemail roulette. Today, more and more people want instant gratification. That means talking to a real live person, not a machine. You've got to have your phones answered by a real person. Get rid of the phone tree. On the internet, every time someone has to click, you lose 50% of your audience. The same holds true in real life. People want instant gratification and they have short attention spans, so you've got to stop creating obstacles for them. The more options that a client has in your phone system, the more likely the chance that they're going to get confused or frustrated and just hang up. Mistake number 4, not using an answering service to answer calls after hours. We have access to the call logs of all of our clients, so we see that often calls come in after hours. It never ceases to amaze me that lawyers will spend thousands of dollars on their internet marketing, but then balk at $150 for an answering service to make sure that the calls are actually answered when the leads call. Even though it's after hours, when a potential client calls your firm, they want to talk to a real person, not a machine, and they're not going to leave a message. With an answering service, the potential client gets to talk to a real live person who can take down their information and transfer the call to you in real time or assure them that they'll be getting a call back as soon as possible. Often, this is enough to pause the potential client's attorney search just long enough for you to get back in touch with them before they start looking for another law firm. However, an answering service is only as good as the way they handle your calls. It's imperative that the answering service plays into the client's needs for instant gratification and immediate satisfaction. If the operator sounds indifferent or uninterested, or they take too long to answer the call, the lead will likely call another firm. That's why any answering service that you hire has to be thoroughly vetted before you allow them to answer your calls. Ask your colleagues which answering services they use, what they think about them, and make sure that the answering service can transfer calls directly to your office. If you're stuck, send me an email and I'll send you some recommendations for some answering services that our clients use. After you hire the service, it's important to do some secret shopping with them. Be sure to call your firm after hours to see what the experience is like. If there's a problem with how they're dealing with your after hours leads, address the issue or find another answering service. In the end, a good answering service is a smart investment that costs only a fraction of what you're likely spending on marketing. It makes no sense to be paying thousands of dollars for leads only to lose the lead because you're not answering the calls properly. Mistake number 5, using a weak voicemail message. I want to preface this section by saying that potential leads should never ever under any circumstance hear your voicemail. If someone is unable to answer your phones, an answering service needs to be used to capture all those leads. That being said, even if you do use an answering service, there might be times when a technical glitch occurs and a voicemail is necessary. This means that a potential case that could be worth millions of dollars could contact your office at a time when no one is able to answer the phone. If the call goes to voicemail, what's the experience going to be like for the potential client? How often do you leave voicemails when shopping for a service? If a caller somehow lands on your voicemail, the voicemail message is your only chance to capture the lead. If you have a generic voicemail, you can kiss that lead goodbye. And even worse, if your voicemail lists your office hours, including the times that you go to lunch, that lead's never going to leave a message. People want to believe that their lawyers work full time. If your septic system backed up in your house, would you leave a message for a plumber or would you hang up and call the next plumber right away? Remember, people want instant gratification, so it's essential that the lead feels that someone is going to get back to them right away if you're not able to answer the phone. We tell all of our clients to leave a voicemail that sounds something like this. This is Attorney John Smith. I'm unable to answer your call, but I do want to speak with you. Please leave a message and I will return your call personally within 15 minutes. Now, both you and I know that you won't be able to return every phone call within 15 minutes every single time. It's not going to be possible. However, this will increase the likelihood that the lead will leave a voicemail. If you are able to return that call in 15 minutes, great. If not, you can call them later and apologize profusely, but at least you have their contact information, whereas before they would have hung up and never left a message. Maybe they still don't hire you, but at least now you have a chance. Mistake number 6, not obtaining reviews on Google and Yelp from clients. Now, I know what you're thinking. Getting reviews is very hard, and you're right, it is. But you know who else it's hard for? Your competition, and they're getting tons of reviews. So what's stopping you? If you want to get a lot of clients from the internet, you've got to have a lot of great reviews because that social proof is all people have to go off of, whether you're a good attorney or not. Your firm is one of many similar law firms that all practice a similar style of law. To a potential client, your firm is one of dozens. They have no idea who you are, otherwise they wouldn't be searching on Google. This means that their decision to choose you or another firm often comes down to online reviews, also known as social proof. If a potential lead sees that other people have had a positive experience with you, they will likely feel that they'll have a positive experience as well, and they're more likely to hire you. Just think about the last time you bought anything on Amazon. Did the reviews play a part? In addition to the actual rating, did you also pay attention to the quantity of reviews? We found that most people do pay attention to the number of reviews you have as well as your overall ranking. So it's important that you get a lot of 5-star reviews, not just a few. We created a complete guide to getting 5-star reviews for your law firm, and you can download it for free in the description below this video. Mistake number 7, ignoring negative reviews. Everyone knows that no one is perfect and everyone makes mistakes. You can't please everybody, and every service, no matter how good, is susceptible to negative reviews. However, when you get a negative review, the way you respond is critical. Don't get into a public mudslinging competition, and especially don't ignore the review. It's important that you respond to the reviewer in an even tone, apologizing for the misunderstanding and asking that they contact you so that you can resolve the matter. A sample response that we use all the time for our clients is available in the review guide, which you can download using the link below. Keep in mind when responding to a negative review that the response is not for the person that left the review. It's for the thousands of people that are going to see that negative review in the years to come. Your response needs to demonstrate to the public that you take client satisfaction seriously and you'll go out of your way to make sure that everyone's happy. Mistake number 8, believing prospects when they say they have no money and only want advice. Your profession is the practice of law, but your business is to generate revenue for your law firm. If you're going to grow your law firm, you've got to learn to sell yourself and your services. A successful lawyer is not only a successful practitioner, but also a successful salesperson. I can't tell you the number of times I've talked to a client that says, nobody has any money and they just want free advice. Of course they want information and advice. That's why they're calling a lawyer. And who wants to spend money? When you convince them that they can't afford not to hire you, that's when they find the money. People have money stashed away for entertainment, for going out to dinner, for a special vacation, but this is something that they need and they can find the money. There's often even money available in those pre-approved credit card offers that they haven't taken advantage of. The problem is that you're believing them. Who calls a lawyer's office and really expects free services? Nobody. You have to remember, people will find the money for a lawyer before they allow themselves to suffer. Every firm that your call gets from somebody needing advice is a potential source of revenue for the firm. When you're on one of these calls, you've got to be both a lawyer and a salesperson selling your services. Remember, the average person has a fear of lawyers and the legal system. For many of them, there's a natural aversion and distrust of the entire process. That's why you need to listen to what they're saying. This isn't just another bankruptcy, drug arrest, or divorce. This is their life. Your job is to determine what the problem is and explain how you're going to fix it. Explain to them how their life will improve once the problem is fixed. And also show them how it will get worse until it's addressed. Your job is to become an essential part of the solution to the problem that they called you about in the first place. If you struggle with this process, I highly recommend you take a sales course. So there you have it, the 8 marketing mistakes most lawyers make. Tell me in the comments how many of these mistakes you're guilty of, or how many of these mistakes you used to make and how you corrected the process.